Hey guys, welcome back to Freestyle Unlimited. As you guys saw in the previous video, we took the 500 out of the WaveJammer so that we could reseal it because it is leaking. We got it fired up. We realized that there's an exhaust leak. Unfortunately, where it's leaking, it's coming from this seal back here that seals to the back of the motor, and unfortunately that required us to remove the motor so that we could get the rear coupler off. I don't really like the design of the 500s. They're great if you don't want to make a bunch of power, but I want to add a little bit more power into this thing. Also, my neighbor came by, we buffed this thing up a little bit. It is looking way better. I just want to get maybe see if we can get the back graphics cleaned up, but look at the gloss we've got on this now. You can actually kind of see the glossiness on this ski. It looks great. So big ups on that, but we are going to address two things in this video. We are going to remove our kind of janky custom ride plate, and we are going to install the one I got back there in the last video, and then we are going to go and we are going to pick up the new power plant that is going into this ski, and we will start our build series. So we've got a lot to do today. Let's get right into it. So luckily eBay is a place of wonder, and we were able to find a stock WaveJammer ride plate. So we're going to dig in here. We're going to take a look at what makes this ride plate different from most other ones that you'll see on vintage skis. If I can get it open one-handed here. So, wow, they didn't even pack anything in it. It's looking a little rough in terms of the paint, but that is our ride plate. So the cool thing about this ride plate, we've just got a flat bottom. You'll notice that there is an additional hole here. This is going to be the line that runs for our bilge. So we're going to have a line that comes off the pump, goes into this large fitting here, and as it travels down past this smaller line, it creates a venturi, which will pull water out of the hole through this and push it out the bottom of the ride plate out of the ski. So this will go right back up where we've got our custom plate here. So we are going to maybe clean this up a little bit, get our plate off of here, make sure this hardware is the correct hardware, and we will get this thing mounted back up. Super easy, super quick, and then we'll move on to the second part of our video. So I've got the ski positioned for a little bit better angle for visibility. Let's take a look at what we've got here. It looks like somebody has just come in here and they have just bolted a piece of sheet metal. Kind of tippy. But they have just bolted a piece of sheet metal onto the bottom here. So we should just be able to pull these bolts out. Looks like they may have used a couple different types, but we were going to get this out and we're going to swap out for our stock ride plate. So I'm going to get you guys set up here and we'll get right into it. So we are going to come right in here. We've got a couple 10 mils that we're going to pop off here. Get in here. Let me get this wood plug out of here. First off, let's get my clamp moved back a little bit. Figure out how in the world to get this wood piece out. I don't really know what to do about this. Alright. Cool. So we got our wood plug out. Now we just got to get our line . An OEM hose or harvesting one off of another ski. So we're gonna try it. See, this is the issue, is the hose that we have here is kinked. So what I'm gonna try and do is straighten this out. So slight change of plans because I am on a time constraint. I do have to go meet with this guy for our swap motor. I'm going to bring this back in the garage, and I'm gonna pick something up on the way home, and I will show you guys exactly what I get. All right, so I just got back from my little adventure. I just got the truck unloaded. I am gonna show you guys exactly what we picked up. So I was down in Tacoma and had to go pick up my welder from a buddy's house because they're working on his drift car. But we got the welder back in the shop, and we picked up, flip you guys around, Yamaha 650 motor. So I got this with the pump. The guy took the pump cone and he was gonna keep the prop, but I told him that was the only reason I wanted the pump because, well, it was the only reason I wanted the pump. Dang, he really got after this. But, oh man, those splines have seen better days, for sure. That thing is worn out. But we got the 650. It has like 150 or 160 psi compression. It runs. It is ready to go in the ski. We are going to have to swap some stuff over. I just noticed getting it into the garage that the plug wires are damaged, so we will be doing a video on how to replace plug wires. We will have to get in here, get into our e-box and replace those wires themselves, and maybe we'll put some MSD boots on, make this thing kind of nice. But it's got an SBN 44 carb. The thing's in great shape. You know, everything's here. It's all stock. So I'm really excited for this. We are going to be putting this in the jammer. The jammer is going to get 650 swapped. We'll probably start that swap in the next video. We'll clean out the hole, get everything prepped, and this 500 motor will be going bye-bye. So that is today's video. Oh, also, I know I told you guys I was going to be stopping to get something to alleviate that, but our pump came with one that is not damaged. So we're just going to throw that on there, get our ride plate on. I'm going to do that, and we'll call it a video there. All right, so we are just going to get right back into it where we left off. I'm going to pop our hose back off here to swap the new one over from the VXR, which should mount straight up. So this was a great find. Super thrilled about this. Also, I've got some additional swap parts from my buddy Cody. Shout out to him. He got me pretty much everything else I'll need to complete the swap. I was going to do a 701 swap, but I think with how things are going right now, ooh, this thing was leaking. And just the fact that I found this 650 so cheap that I'm just going to drop the 650 in, and I think we'll just leave it at that. We're gonna get a ride plate on here. So, get you guys angled down a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to connect my lines before I put it back up because it'll be easier that way. But I would like to try and get my hose clamp prepared just like that. And we are going to pop this right in here. Move our hose clamp back just a little bit. Right there. Get our bilge line on here. Just like that. Get our clamp moved right back down here so you guys can see. Okay. Get our clamp back down right there. So now we've got our bilge line hooked up on there. We're going to run our main line, our pressure line, up to this top one. Might have to cut this line back a little bit because he did split it when he was pulling it. So I'm just gonna trim the line back a little bit with my cutters, just to right there, just like that. Okay, and that should give us a nice fresh hose. Perfect. Run this one this way, and push that up in there. Just like that. Make sure that we're seated, which we are, and snug this down. Just like that. All right, perfect. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull this small line down below my other one, just because I think it'll route better underneath it. Just like that. I'll go right there. And then we can put our plate back up in those corners. Nice and snug. And I actually was nice enough when I went and got parts from my buddy Cody, which I will show you in just a second. He gave me the bolts for the ride plate, the original LX650 ride plate bolts. So we're gonna run these in and we will be done. Get them all started by hand. I'm gonna do, since I've got the ski up in the air, is I'm gonna come in here and I want to find out what prop we've got in here, which now that I'm looking at it, it might be stock. It looks like it says something on it, but this thing is mangled. We should probably pull this out. This thing is absolutely mangled. Wow. Okay, yeah, that whole thing's got to come out. But we have a very, very nice scoop grate in here that somebody made. It is a, what is this? Performance jet ski or something. And somebody has welded a plate in here as a scoop grate. So that is very cool. Bummer. We are definitely going to have to pull this. And we might have to consider the using this other pump, just because this one's got a little bit of damage to it. Nothing too crazy, but we might do that later. I'm going to leave it for now. I want to see if we can get this 650 in and running first, and then if we need to go through and we replace that pump and everything, then it is what it is. But we got the ride plate on, so that's awesome. That is going to be it for today, but I'll give you guys a little update on some of the stuff that I got. So outside of what I obviously already showed you guys, the 650 motor, which is going to be a great swap, I talked to my buddy Cody and he got me set up with some great parts. So we've got a pump over here. This also has a Supra, I believe it's a Solus. Yeah, Supra Solus YASCA. I don't remember. I think it's marked on here somewhere where it was. Maybe it got wiped off. 13, I think it's a 1317 prop. So this is going to be a great option for the, it was going to be for a 701, but I think this is going to work great for a 650. So we'll see. I also have some LX650 bed plates. So these are going to allow us to bolt these onto our 650 and essentially drop it right into that ski. So we've got that one, and we've got our other side. So we've got that covered, and then we have an exhaust manifold, which I don't actually think I'll need because I'm pretty sure it's the exact same one that just came on this 650. So that's pretty neat. And then we've got the LX650 coupler, which we will need because it is a small thread to the mid shaft, but it is a large diameter coupler, where the 500 is the same style coupler, but substantially smaller. So let me get you a side by side. So you have to convert to the large coupler on the right to be able to utilize the coupler on the 650. The other cool thing about this 650 is it's already had the oil pump deleted, and so this thing is pretty much ready to drop in. We won't have to do a pipe or exhaust because this is located close enough to where the stock exhaust comes out. We'll just hook our hose up here and we will be good to go. The only thing I might need to do is get a filter set up for this. I believe I might have an upper half of an SBN 44. We will see, but worst case scenario, we'll get an aftermarket filter for this motor. So that is kind of the update. We've got the full e-box and everything. We've got all of our parts that we need for the swap, and the jammer is going to be underway in the next video. So I know this was a little bit of a hectic video, and we have a ton going on in the garage. It's a complete mess, but we are completely underway on this project. It is going to be awesome. This jammer hopefully will be done in the next few episodes, and we'll get this thing out, test it on the lake. We've also got the 440SX. I know it's been a little bit since I worked on it, but it is still underway. I'm currently waiting on the last few parts to come in, including the motor mounts. And I think there was one other thing I was waiting on. But as soon as that comes in, we're going to get that finished up. And I actually have somebody that put a deposit down on it. So they are going to be taking it home. They're taking it to their lake house and they're going to have it for their kids. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited for them to get to enjoy that ski. But we will also be getting this out to test it, as well as the 440SX, in the next few episodes. So thank you for watching. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, or anything you guys want to know about the jammer, or any of the parts that I've picked up that we are going to be using for the swap, if you guys have questions about the swap itself, please drop them in the comment section below. I will respond to every comment. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.